thoughts provoked. Just a bit about the EPA. I suppose we are about the environment, trying to protect the environment for now and into the future. So we see this as being very central to what we're trying to do. We do that through three activities: regulation, knowledge development and advocacy. Part of the advocacy is supporting conferences such as this. But in regulation, we have a huge role in strategic environmental assessment, where we really are trying to, I suppose, spread the message around environmental integration into a lot of plans and programs at government level. But also in the last few years, the agency has been given a lot of roles in terms of EIA and also appropriate assessment, which is quite a tricky one. It's probably the fastest developing, most contested area in terms of screening in or out whether appropriate assessments have to be done under the Habitats Directive, and the agency is doing that role day in, day out with projects that are presented to the agency for applications. In terms of knowledge, we have a significant mapping programme that pulls together huge amounts of environmental data on layers that are available and made available to everyone through our website. And I'm glad to see Donald Daly here, who's doing some really excellent research and data gathering into implementation as part of the catchments.ie work, which is well worth going into. And definitely the thing that struck me listening to all the talks this morning was how much that catchments.ie is probably the baseline by which you could start to build layers of natural capital assessment on a watershed in a catchment area. We're also the National Centre for Environmental Research, and in that research programme we've funded many researchers in the area of natural capita. The funding has been substantial, not enough, I'd grant you, but we've spent 9.2 million on the biodiversity theme. That's funded 58 projects between 2000 and 2013. We spent 2.1 million on natural capital themes on 10 projects since 2014, and about 0.9 million on environment and health. A lot of that has been recently spent since 2014. I think that in terms of the research that we are trying to do here on natural capital, and I just missed my notes that I had to say here, so I've gone completely blank now what I was going to say next. But in any event, enough about that. I think that it is important that we hear. I was going to actually, it's worth just grabbing it. Would you bear with me a second, because I just wanted to highlight the role of researchers in this area. I think it's important that I do so. Sorry. I just wanted to pay compliments to these researchers for dedicating themselves to furthering the knowledge in natural diversity and biodiversity and in natural capital. The likes of Frances Lucy in Sligo IT, her role on a project on prevention, control and eradication of invasive alien species. The project of Lawrence Gill in TCD on a framework for the restoration of degraded peatlands. The role of project of Stephen Hines for NUIG on valuing the significant ecosystem services provided by Irish coastal marine and estuarine habitats. The project of Bruce Osborne of UCD managing invasive alien plants in Ireland. The project of Jane Stout on sectoral impacts on biodiversity and ecosystem services. The project of Florence Renaud Wilson on sustainable management of peatlands. And the project, again, of Stephen Waldron on biodiversity and environmental change in integrated study. I just wanted to highlight the range and nature of this research, and without that, I don't think we'd be able to have conferences like this. So with that, I'm going to announce our first speaker, who is Yvonne, I believe. And again, I've left the notes for Yvonne on the desk, so I'll have to apologise. I'll do her introduction after Yvonne is finished. Yvonne.